Hey, sir, where you taking me, sir?
Oh, no.
Have you tied up on the back of it?
Yes, sir.
Bent over.
Oh, wow. All right, let's go. Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to OK Bud, the podcast where everything's gonna be okay, bud. I am Ben Kissel at Ben Kissel1, joined by Jerii Aquino.
Hello.
At Miss_Jerii, that's Jerii, and Kyle Ploof.
Hey.
At Kyle Ploof. Check out the Patreon, patreon.com/diebud. No video today because our studio is under construction.
Yeah.
So much construction, but it's going to look so cool.
It's going to look super cool in due time. Can't wait for that to happen. Patreon.com/diebud. Also, okbudpod@gmail.com. Shoot us pictures of your pets, your thoughts, whatever it is you want to share. We talked about Ocean Gate on the last episode. We mentioned there was a Netflix documentary. And Jerii, you're halfway through it. What do you think of this Stockton Rush guy?
Dude, he is a psychopath. He's a narcissist with way too much power, which usually the ones with too much power are narcissists.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it has been
it's just given to them.
mind-blowing.
It's their birthright.
It's their birthright.
Yep.
It is just absolutely flooring to see, no pun intended, because they hit the floor.
Right.
But it's just really ridiculous to see exactly how much he was willing to bypass as far as like every time someone told him there was something wrong with the submersible, he was like, great, well, now you're fired.
Whoa.
He was just constantly like, and people would try to be like, no, this can't go through. We need to inspect it more. And he's like, no, we don't need to inspect it more. This is an experimental ship. It's supposed to be outside of the standard guidelines. And he's like, if you're not in this for the crazy ride, then you don't deserve to be a part of this team.
Well, it sounds like Mr. Stockton Rush had to take stock on his attitude
Yeah, he
and maybe
did.
readjust.
Yeah.
Well, how he readjusted was by firing everyone that pissed him off.
I see. So this doesn't make it be like, so the documentary doesn't make him look like a little sympathetic. Afterwards, you're like, wow, he's worse than I thought.
It's like so much worse than I thought. And it was like he had plenty of like red flags, reports, like detailed reports from like highly skilled professionals and what they're doing. And he's like, you don't think I know what the hell I'm doing? I've been doing this for 8 years.
Whoa,
They've been
wow.
telling me I'm an idiot for 8 years. But you know what? I'm doing it anyway. And they're
Just
like,
a-
yeah, but you know, I just sent you like a 20-page report as to why every part of this submersible has an issue, and there's a giant crack on the side.
Well, I feel like I would have really rose through the ranks at this company because I'd be like, yeah, fuck that report. Reports, reading, Stockton, you're right. You've been doing this just a shade under a decade.
Yeah.
I don't think we need no reports.
Literally, and then he would fire the very his experts on the team, and then he would get in. And the more people he fired, the more like college interns he would get, or fresh college graduates he would get. So then you had like a 24-year-old just being like, "I think it's really cool to be a part of like this project, and
I love
just
that.
really want to see something like this get off the ground. It's like my work, and it's gonna go
Yeah.
down."
Well, now they're all complicit in the death of five people.
Yep.
So isn't that fun?
Yep.
All right. Well, speaking of doomed flights inside of a cramped cabin, you all hear about this flight, Air India.
Oh my God.
I have not. Fill me in.
This is not. Hello. Pause. Pause. Is that what the kids say? Pause.
Well, only because
It's
that's
for
not how
butthole.
you
It's
say
for
that.
men and dicks
Right.
and buttholes.
Yeah.
I know. I'm hip.
Just a second.
I'm hip. So, there was a plane in India. It crashed and it killed 200 people.
Oh snap!
However, there was a miracle survivor. And what was his seat number? 11A.
No.
So, if you are on a plane, that's the seat you
That's
want.
where you want to be. Well, I mean, if you're on a plane that happens to crash exactly the way that this plane crashed,
Right. Yeah, I guess that's true.
yeah, you never really know how it's gonna land.
Well, I have heard this before. The exit row mid-plane, which is exactly where he was sitting, I do think that's the safest place to be.
Really, I've heard that the back of the plane is the safest place.
All I know is I've heard people in the back of the plane saying who wants to be in first class, they die first.
Yeah, first class
Yeah,
is first
yeah.
to crash.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but also it's much, much better, and the odds of the plane crashing are very slim. So technically they will have a better experience, most likely, than you.
Yeah, it's
But-
usually how it goes.
It's kind of fun to think, well, yeah, I'm sitting by the bathroom and Bernie just blew it up with his butthole. But those people in first class, if it does crash, they're going to die.
But at least you're
Take
dying
that.
comfortably.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
So His name is Vishwash. Isn't that fun? Vishwash.
Dishwash.
Yes. And he was in the exit row, seat 11. He has no idea how he's still alive.
Holy shit. That's him right there?
Yeah.
Dude.
He's just walking down the street. That's why I don't know if this is even real.
He's just limping. He's like, does anybody have a cigarette? That would be my first fucking question.
Absolutely. That is so true. He literally not just survived, walked away from the plane crash. He said he was surrounded by bodies,
Oh my God.
Yeah, I would think so.
which is not fun. He is a British Indian citizen. He was seen limping on the street around the wreckage. And then authorities were like, hey, weren't you just in that massive plane crash? He's like, yes, I was.
He's like, why? Because I'm all bloody and I'm Indian and I'm in India?
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yep. That's pretty much why.
Yeah.
The plane crashed a mere 30 seconds after takeoff.
Oh, I thought it was landing.
Oh.
No,
okay.
I believe it was takeoff.
I saw the video and it looked like it was going down like it was landing, but I mean, it could have just it could have stalled. And
Well, it did land, didn't it? It
What-
did.
Why did it crash 30
Well,
seconds after?
It's a Boeing 787-7 Dreamliner.
Wow. Okay.
Oh.
First of all, the first people, the first expert team that was helping OceanGate was Boeing.
Boeing.
It was a couple of Boeing like engineers, and they were also like, "Hey, here's A, B, C, and D problems. You're not gonna look at it? Okay, cool. We're just gonna dip."
Yep, Boeing. There was a recent another whistleblower who was just demonized by the company for telling the truth. I don't know. Boeing planes seem to be falling out of the sky relatively rapidly, and that's not good.
Yeah.
So he's sitting there, 11A, boom, plane's up 30 seconds. That's why I do a 30-second countdown when the plane takes off, because they say odds are it will crash within the first minute.
Seriously?
Oh,
Who
yeah.
says that?
once we get up to altitude, I'm calm, but the whole takeoff when we're turning and stuff, I'm like, oh, we're going to die.
Seriously?
It's much like life, the beginning and the end, most close to death. Yes.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah, you can be
I had no idea, to be honest. I was always just wondering if the plane was going to fall apart in the middle of the sky.
Nah, you're fine by then.
Midair, little turbulence. They say turbulence doesn't take a plane down.
Yeah.
But landing, yeah, you'll get fucked on the landing. So
Holy
you can have an
shit.
18-hour flight and be like, oh, that was all smooth. I mean, look what happened in Washington, D.C. when that helicopter hit that plane when it was landing. People
Yeah.
were already calling their parents and their wives and husbands and
Yeah.
children, be like, we're going to be home in 10 minutes.
Right. Literally after that one, now I've been scared when the plane lands. So now
Exactly.
every time the plane hits the wheels on the ground, I'm just like, okay, wait, not over yet. It's not over yet.
It's not over yet.
Yeah.
So he's 40 years old. He says
Wow.
when I got up, there were bodies all around me. I was scared. I stood up and ran. There were pieces of the plane all around me.
Wow.
And then he said, someone grabbed a hold of me and put me in an ambulance and brought me to the hospital. So it was a pretty bad moment for him. But again, he lived, and 200 people are dead. So you can see here from the diagram of the plane, I don't know why he lived, but
Oh my God.
he had that emergency exit access, and maybe that's what popped him right out.
I don't know. Do you think that's what it was? Because I always feel I would think that because he's so close to like a wall that's crashing and coming in,
Could be.
he could have been
Could be dead
easily
first.
smashed.
All I know is every single time I've ever sat in an emergency row, I have lied, because they say, are you sober? And I say, yeah, pretty much.
I'm dead.
And then they say, are you prepared to help in an accident? And I say, absolutely, but no.
No.
And if there was an accident or an act of terrorism and I was the one in the emergency row, the whole plane's fucked. But you know what? You know what? They trusted me, and that was their mistake.
Yeah.
Well, technically, I mean, you made it. They all made it.
Yeah.
Like, lady, I'm here for the leg room.
Well, that's
Yeah.
the thing. So damn big. So he says 30 seconds, maybe they were going to Mars. Ooh. 30 seconds to Mars to be
yeah.
diddled by, what's his name? Jared Leto.
Yeah.
Yes, and his pretty little cult.
Yeah, he has a cult. And now all the girls are like, he was kind of weird. And everyone's like, whoa, what?
I was like, what?
What?
Crazy.
Who knows? 30 seconds after takeoff, there was a loud noise, and then the plane crashed. It all happened so quickly. So there you go.
I wonder if he wasn't wearing his seatbelt, and this is one of the few times where you shouldn't wear it.
No,
Hoping you get launched out.
No, Kyle. That's what that UFC fighter says about wearing seatbelts and how they're not safe because if the car gets on fire and then you can't get the seatbelt off. But odds are you want the seatbelt on.
Depends how you get hit.
You're pontificating.
What did the plane hit? What did it crash into?
The ground.
It looks like it just onto the ground and not into like a building or anything.
No, it wasn't.
Looks like they're close by buildings.
It just went up and then straight back down.
Okay, let's see here. So he says, I have no idea how I exited the plane. Rescuers were at the plane site crash. And yes, Jerii, you are correct. There seems to be some kind of rubble. And I guess the plane, well, it definitely exploded like a lot.
Oh my God.
Yep, it definitely did that. I guess
all of the explosionness didn't hit this guy at all. He
No.
must have been like under a pile of bodies.
He must have
been like protected.
Yeah, that's better than a bulletproof vest. Just have a bunch of bodies in front of you.
Yeah.
I love that idea. That's how you survive a movie theater massacre. So
Yeah.
he says that he is unsure how he survived. No one knows why the plane crashed yet. There's no data showing correlation between seating and survivability. Although, again, I have heard that middle seat is the best.
Wow.
Yep. So,
Well, I mean, in this case, it wasn't
it was for him.
the middle seat.
Well, he was in the middle of the plane.
Yeah.
But not the middle
okay,
seat, middle
okay.
of the plane.
Closest to
Gotcha,
the
gotcha.
wings there.
Right.
Yep. According to the police chief, he says at first it appeared everyone had died, and then all of a sudden they see this guy walking around smoldering like it's some kind of 1980s comedy.
Wow. I mean, yeah, it's pretty surreal to see, and I can only imagine from his perspective, just to get up and just be like, what is I was on a plane 1 second ago. Now I don't know what the hell's going on.
They're putting me in a gurney. My question, as we have watched Final Destination and the hangover is still with us,
Yeah.
this guy's going to die within the week.
Ooh.
No.
Absolutely. He
No,
wasn't
it's
supposed to
No,
live.
his friends will.
No.
They'll start moving on.
He is the one.
So he's the one that doesn't die?
Yeah, he is. Remember, you know, I just watched the Lego movie recently.
Right, everything is happy.
He's the special.
Oh.
He is. I don't know what he's the one for, but I don't know if a giant fucking crash happens and there's like one miracle survivor. Usually it's like, oh, we have found the one.
Well, you better be
The
careful.
prophecy has come true. I don't know what prophecy though.
Yeah, well, people are going to be really bad if he is the second coming of Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everyone wants Jesus to look like, a really sexy Australian guy who likes to hang out on the beach and go surfing.
Yeah.
Ooh, like the drag queen Courtney Act.
Oh, Courtney Act.
Yeah, she's
Interesting.
an Australian, crazy six pack.
No kidding.
Yeah, really great performer.
All right, fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, congratulations to that fella
Congratulations.
for staying alive.
What?
Although
I feel like that's an understatement.
he will have some survivor's guilt, though.
Some.
Why didn't I die? Why wasn't I the one? What am I doing with your life? What am I
Yeah.
doing with my life?
Yeah.
Yeah, because was he with people or was he
Well-
by himself?
Oh my God, that's so true.
Because then it's like, oh my God, everyone I was going to go on vacation with is gone now too.
Yeah.
Right.
That's so scary.
Oh, that is-
And these Dreamliners, they're huge. I went on one from LA to London, and it was the most comfortable flight I've ever had in my life. And
Wow.
I just can't believe that it was the least comfortable flight all these people had.
Why is it that these days when we hear the word Boeing, and it used to it used to come with such a strong, supported kind of like an air to it, like Boeing, they know what the fuck, they're the ones who run our airplane.
Yep.
Well,
Well, now it's like Boeing. Oh no.
Well, now they have a bunch of guys like Stockton Rush running the company who are like, just get it done. Who cares if it's going to kill people?
I mean, seriously, it's
and then when
so
people
scary.
they come out and say, oh, there's something wrong with this, they end up getting shot in the head in a parking lot.
That is insane.
Pretty much exactly what happened. Boeing, you got blood on your hands once again, except for this guy. So if you're Boeing, you got to make this guy the face of your company. Just be like, look at this one.
Bro.
He was strong enough to survive one of our plane crashes.
Yeah, just be more like this guy.
Exactly.
This motherfucker, I can't stress enough. He is the one. I feel like I'm looking at someone godly here.
Could be.
I don't know.
We'll have to hear him talk. We'll have to see
Yeah.
what the criminal record is.
Yeah.
And we'll assess from there.
Imagine if he's just like super racist in every interview.
Like, whoa. It is very possible. People, people always assume that it's just the European race
Yeah.
that is racist.
I'm not peeing European.
Hey.
Well, speaking of peeing, but many Indians are racist, is what I was about to say. Because I
Every
know,
Indian's racist.
not everyone, but
I
I
read it
know
on the internet.
I lived in New York.
Wow.
Speaking of pee, let's come back to the fine country of America.
Okay.
There's a dude, he was in Florida. He's 70 years old. He actually looks pretty good for 70. Definitely looks like he's got a little bit of hair that was burnt off or singed off in a fire accident. Perhaps.
What do I feel like he doesn't look good for 70?
You don't think that looks good for 70?
Not really. Maybe we have different standards.
Well, he does have the vagina gizzard neck, but I always
He
think that's
does.
kind of fun, something to play with at night.
Poke a little hole in with your finger.
Yeah. Have your kids play with it so they can experiment how to pleasure their wives later in life.
Oh my God.
Children?
Ben.
That'd be nice.
No, it would not be nice.
Oh, Hank, how'd you learn how to pleasure a woman so much?
Yeah.
My dad's gibbler.
Dad's gibbler on his neck. And then later on, that kid's in 12th grade, and they're like, dude, why are you putting your finger in my neck? And he's like, no, this is where the spot is. Wait.
Yeah.
You gotta flop the gullet.
Yeah. Now you're supposed to drool a bunch and tell me I did a good job. Well, either way, no word if this man is a father or not. He was at Sam's Club, and apparently he destroyed $10,500 worth of Spam and Vienna sausages.
That's a lot of Spam, especially at Sam's Club, because that's a big wholesale store. So it's discounted on top of everything. That's impressive, I got to say.
And I do think that's interesting. They put the Spam by the Vienna sausages. That's a fight right there.
His neck is Spam.
How much hydration did this man have to give?
So what happened was he was hanging out in aisle 18, and apparently he had to piss really, really bad. So then he whipped out his 70-year-old dong, and he just started taking a piss.
Yep.
The witnesses, they used their cell phone to take a picture of the defendant. They reported the incident to store employees, and that's when the store got involved. So if it wasn't for these courageous witnesses...
Right.
Or snitches, pee snitches.
Yeah, seriously. And also pervs? What are you taking a picture of me peeing for?
That's a good point.
I'm doing my own thing right now.
That's a good
It's a human
point.
emergency, and you're dick picking me without my consent?
Solid point, Jerii. That should be his defense number one. Why are you taking pictures of me pissing on the Vienna sausages?
Seriously.
Also, out of all the meats to piss on, he did choose correctly. You piss on the Spam, you piss on the Vienna sausages, you leave the nice tenderloins alone.
So serious. I mean, really though, he didn't pee in the fresh baked goods aisle.
No.
Which, would have irked the fuck out of me.
Oh, that would have been awful.
Stay away from the chocolate chip cookies.
Everything's all wet.
Also, a little pushback. He didn't destroy all. The piss didn't get inside of it. It just was on the outside. It should be discounted at the front now.
Well, apparently
Very true. Actually, these are supposed to be sealed, to like a point. Nothing's
Yeah, it's
supposed to
on
be
them.
able to get in or out. So, you should be able to wash these off and it should be fine.
This is activism.
if they tell the customer that's buying it that these are piss spams and piss sausages, then yes.
The kind of people who eat Spam would not care.
That's a that is a lie.
That's
Well,
disgusting.
That is a lie.
I guess that's everyone in Hawaii, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. You've just disgraced the entire community of Hawaii.
Yeah, they piss in the Spam. That's what
Yeah.
the liquid is inside.
No, you are tired. You're tired from being a father. You're speaking out of. You're insane right now. Insane. I stand by Spam, to be honest with you, because in a pinch it does get the job done.
I can't say it's ever been around my life in a pinch or to get the job done.
It's good when you're camping.
But I'm fine with that.
Vienna sausages, they make you feel like you're, sucking off a dwarf, but it's fine.
Is that how you eat the sausages? Like you're sucking off a dwarf?
Yep. I didn't know they were. I knew there was grumpy and sleepy. I didn't know there was horny. Hello. Oh, that's me. I'm a
There it
6'7" dwarf.
Ben's just licking the underside of the tip.
Yeah. I think you're just supposed to bite it, dude.
How do you get this thing to work? So,
Not squirting anywhere.
Sam's Club managers, they reviewed their surveillance footage. So they put little hats on,
They
little
were like,
monocles.
wait a minute, I'm not believing this iPhone footage. I'm going to have to check the CCTV.
So they spotted a man walking up to the pallets. He placed both hands in front of him below the belt line and stood there for several seconds. According to Detective Ronnie Williams, he doesn't just say he pissed. He says this was behavior consistent with urination.
Oh,
Very fancy, very classy. Because Detective Ronnie Williams isn't working the piss case. He is working the
mad.
behavior consistent with urination profile.
Behavior consistent with pissing? That's
Yeah.
absolutely insane. And then next thing you know, he's gonna just put a finger in on the pee, lick it, and you'd be like, yeah, this has the remnants of what feels like what would be consistent with human urination.
Yep, I've tasted that before. And our last episode, we talked about, what was it, arugula? What was the thing that makes your piss all
asparagus.
It's asparagus.
Asparagus.
It's not arugula. It's arugula.
Arugula.
it's not kumbaya.
I know. Why is he doing that lately?
I don't know what's going on with me. I have no idea. So, the uninspecting area workers, they, quote, confirmed that there was urine on the 2 pallets. The pallets contained 188 bulk units of Vienna sausage, 345 units of 8-count Spam Classic. Wow. So apparently there's like Spam like young, like Spam like trans or something. But this is like Spam Classic.
Oh, there's like flavors.
Yeah, Spam that identifies as like something not spammy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Tofu.
Oh, could be.
Yeah, tofu would identify as spam.
You
Oh,
could.
yes. Tofu, when done well, can be okay.
Yeah, it's very true. Some of them, you really soak that bastard in whatever flavor you have. I mean, there was a point in time where I thought being a vegan was just taking tofu and shaping it into whatever you want.
Oh, my.
Well, with your hands?
Yeah,
That is kinda what you do.
Yeah, it literally kind of is, isn't it?
I don't
You
know.
want chicken?
Eat
Just
tofu
shape
with my hands.
just shape tofu into chicken.
Oh.
Yeah.
You want cauliflower?
Make it into that. It's like,
yeah.
yeah.
You want an Impossible Burger? Take tofu and make it into a patty.
It's kind of fun.
It is fun.
Yeah. It's like using one of those wheels to make different kind of shapes when you're in pottery class.
It's like vegan Legos.
Oh, yes. So the products were worth $10,500. The investigators, they are now charging this fella with urinating on canned goods. He was recorded strolling around the snack section and the sack section as
Fifth
well.
Avenue?
Yes. So about 10 minutes before, so he was seen strolling around the snack section and sack section, as I said, because I'm funny, and sitting on patio furniture for about 10 minutes. He then walked to register 2, which is interesting because he took a number 1.
Nice.
And he paid for his items and left the store. So they didn't find him in store, dick in hand.
Wow.
Wow.
This is why they had to call the detective, Ronnie Williams, who I don't know how he's going to sleep tonight. This needs to be on an episode of First 48. If you don't catch the spam pisser in the first 48 hours, the chances are going to greatly reduce.
I know. But and honestly, it's like he was waiting to get caught. He sat in the sofa for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
He knew he did something bad, and he's like, I'm just gonna sit here and just wait for someone to come yell at me. And after 10 minutes, he's like, no one? All right, fuck it. I'm not even gonna I won't try to make the trail hot by just stealing all this shit.
Yeah, he didn't even
buy my dinner and be on my way.
Yeah, he just purchased what he had to purchase at
And
register number 2.
Yeah, he's like looking at the register lady. He's like, seriously? Nothing you want to say to me? You just, card. Yeah, card. I'll pay with a card.
Yeah.
No one's realizing I'm the great piss bandit
Yeah.
of aisle 11. No one seems to care.
As he's walking out, he just keeps looking back, just double checking. And it's like, serious? No one?
Yeah,
no one.
Okay.
Since it did take so long, I would be so upset if I got home, had a long day, went shopping, then I was like, I'm finally going to eat my Spam sandwich. And right as I'm biting into it on the news, it's like, breaking, $11,000 worth of Spam was pissed on. And he's like, God damn it.
That's hilarious.
He's in the middle of a divorce.
Everyone in Hawaii would be really pissed off.
Yeah, maybe staying at a Holiday Inn extended stay.
Yeah.
Which are very, very sad places. Although you will get a lot of numbers in their elevators for divorce lawyers.
How?
Because that's who advertises there.
Oh.
So, how did they find this fella? His name is Mitchell. Well, they had to go to the Sam's Club member portal. So that sounds really exciting. It's the Sam's Club member portal. And they say all customers have to provide their membership card to a cashier prior to purchasing items, at the point of sale.
Much like Costco.
Much like Costco.
So the only reason he got caught is because he paid for stuff.
Because he paid for stuff.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. They would have never known.
Would have been the
who it
perfect
was.
crime.
It really would have been. And then every time he could have just laughed at night and been like, somebody's eating a Vienna sausage that I passed on. It's so funny.
Hilarious.
And it's all about, that's why you never trust someone laughing alone.
No, honestly, this is why you don't trust those new companies that are coming out, like the millennials and Gen Z people. I've been seeing these new companies coming out on Instagram where they're like, hey, when like a piece of fruit is slightly bruised and then the grocery store throws it out?
Right.
Well, we're buying all that shit and you can have it for a much cheaper price. And there's nothing really that wrong with it. It's just that some dude peed on all this Spam and then they were gonna throw it out, but we were like, this is still closed. Now you can eat it for half the price.
Yeah, it is a solid point. There's a lot of freegans out there who do
Yeah.
dumpster diving, and
Yeah.
this is one of the risks that they take.
Yeah.
That everything they touch is covered in piss. Which I would assume it probably is.
Probably
It probably is.
But also something as sealed as spam. If I was at
It
the
would be
bottom
fine.
of my rope and
I'd still buy it.
I would probably buy it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not licking the outside of it. It's
Yeah,
not,
no.
I know that spam on the outside doesn't taste like spam on the inside.
Seriously.
It's not a wall at Willy Wonka's factory.
The people grabbing them are probably just like, there's pickle juice on this.
Yeah.
Extra pickle juice. Oh my God, spam marinated in pickle juice.
Wow, that sounds disgusting.
Yuck.
Yeah.
So, Mitchell, he was subsequently arrested for disorderly conduct and the cutest of all crimes, which is criminal mischief.
Yeah.
It's a really cute crime.
You've been arrested for behavior consistent with pissing.
But now, because he pissed on so much spam and so many little Vienna sausages, and because the damages were over $1,000, it's a felony.
Whoa.
So he's looking at like very serious charges now because he pissed on so much stuff.
Had some felonious flow going.
That is a lot of spam.
Felonious flow.
I don't know if you guys have this information off the top of your head, but I'd like to ask the listeners out there, has there been a more expensive piss than this?
Well, let's ask Diddy.
Oh, well, that's true.
I guess R. Kelly, yeah.
I think Diddy and R. Kelly might
Yeah.
have the top.
Yep. And of course, someone who pays with their life while pissing on the third rail in New York City.
Yeah,
yeah.
I know that guy.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, definitely.
And that, of course, is the ultimate price one can pay for a good old urination. So Mitchell, he was busted at his home in a place called The Villages, one of the two properties he owns with his wife, which is amazing that
Oh
he
my
had.
God, he has a wife.
Well, and she knows he does this.
Yeah, she's the
Yeah.
one kicking him out of the house, being like, if you want to piss on things, get out of the house.
Get
I
out of
know,
here.
right? Yeah, the cops showed up to the door and she was like, "They finally got him, huh?"
Covered in spray.
You know, that's just when we take the shower curtain off on Saturday nights.
Right.
It's the only time we do pee play.
Yeah.
Well, it took you guys long enough. He's in the kitchen. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. And the name of this retirement community where they live is Florida's friendliest hometown.
Wait, it's a Florida man story?
It is.
Shocking.
It is. And I do think it's still possible that it could be Florida's friendliest hometown. Nothing says not friendly about pissing on spam and
No.
Vienna sausages. It says maybe I'm a little bit weird, but it's not necessarily mean-spirited.
He honestly would have done a lot worse if he just took all of those spam bottles and like spiked them down onto the floor and then like crushed the bottles and like put everyone at risk for botulism. That would technically have been worse
That really would have been
because
worse.
that gets inside the food.
Absolutely.
Just take that peed on spam, take it home, give it an old dishwashing thing, just soak it in alcohol and just open it, pop that sucker out.
Yeah, I agree.
Nothing happened.
Well, we've been talking a lot about things that are very much of this world.
We are?
Plane crashes,
Oh, right. Yeah.
spam being pissed upon by a Florida man, of course.
What do they have in common?
But what? Well, because
They
they're of this
exist in
world.
reality.
They exist in reality.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sad reality.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Let's move on to something that might not exist in reality until, of course, we find out fairly quickly when I finish speaking that it does. So, scientists, you know how they always say, oh, we're hearing stuff from the oceans? Uh-huh. The oceans are speaking to us. Is it the bloop? Big old fat bloop. Which is
bloop?
Yeah, the bloop. The bloop is supposed to be a bottom-feeding animal that hangs out in the subterranean of the ocean. That
Like
feeds-
whales?
But it's a bloop, and it's
bloop.
very big.
Like a whale?
No, it's much larger than a whale. It makes a whale look like a tiny little shrimp.
Whoa.
Really?
Yes, but it doesn't exist.
Okay.
But a lot of people say, oh, the sounds that we hear coming from the ocean, maybe it's the bloop. Maybe it's an alien that we don't know about. Well, it turns out it is indeed just a damn humpback whale. So,
Oh my God, I was right.
you were right.
Yeah.
Scientists, they have finally found the source of a strange communication coming from the ocean. Many people said this is proof that it's extraterrestrial life from space right here in our waters. However, researchers, yuck, doing boring work.
Informants.
Yeah. So this was the research company called SETI Institute, and that's known as Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. They revealed a large smoke ring-like bubble coming from the underwater, right?
The whales are just vaping.
The whales are vaping.
This is what happens when you throw all your vapes out into the ocean, guys.
Yeah.
Are you happy?
Very true.
Now the whales are vaping.
There's going to be a SpongeBob episode. Speaking of SpongeBob, I did get a lot of lore about SpongeBob.
Oh my God, I want to hear about it.
Well, Mr. Crab has lung cancer from all the vaping. Oh. Yeah, he got popcorn lung. He got popcorn lung.
That makes sense.
Isn't that sad? So, all these people were like, it's got to be UFOs. Fucking whales. So, the first time scientists have seen whales sending out these unique rings, it's when it was interacting with people in the wild. So, that is, that's kind of crazy.
That is.
The whale knows that we're up here, and they're like, how do we communicate with them? And they're like, smoke rings.
Let's blow some fat clouds.
Yes, chunky
Yeah.
clouds.
They're all potheads up there. They'll get the reference.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did anyone see half me?
Oh,
That's me speaking in whale.
I do love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think whales would probably be one of the more stoned.
I think so too. They're just like chill, you know?
Yeah. And then I don't even know, like octopuses, octopi. I feel like they're into like ketamine. Just like being like super
Yeah.
chill and always like flexible and shit.
Sharks are definitely doing cocaine.
Yeah, cocaine, meth. No, I think meth is a trashier shark.
Yeah.
Don't know what that is.
Bath salts.
Dolphin.
Yeah. Oh, the dolphin. Good Lord.
The
God.
trashier shark, the dolphin.
Yeah. So, the team talked about how these bubbles could help researchers refine their search for alien intelligence in the cosmos, opening a door to spotting unusual signals from space that most humans wouldn't think to look at. So they're looking, they say, oh, that was an alien. They say, no, that was a UFO. No, they say that was a whale, not a UFO. But what is that ring telling us? We can look to the space and try to find other kind of rings, and then that would be an alien.
Oh.
So there you go. Study co-lead Fred Sharp. He's from the University of California, Davis. He says they are blowing bubble rings in our direction in an apparent attempt to playfully interact, observe our response, and or engage in some form of communication.
Well, I like this. This is offering up new references. You could have like new your mama jokes. That are like, your mother's so fat she blows smoke rings from the bottom of the ocean.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
You know,
Very good. Yeah.
we wouldn't get that growing up, but now kids could get it.
Yeah.
Now kids could get
And it's a very great smoke ring. It's
Oh, it's
fantastic.
incredible.
And the fact that whales want to talk to us, they're going to be so disappointed.
I know, right? And also, how did they gather their humans are just like, oh, they're obviously trying to send signals to us to communicate to us. What if they're like, what if it's something else? What if they're like asking for help or something?
I think it could be more devious. They might be getting the taste for humans, so they're like, "Oh, let's open up a portal," and people will be like, "I'm jumping in," and then they all jump in and fucking get eaten by them.
Well, you don't hear too much about the whale eating people.
Not yet.
Not yet.
That looks like a pretty intense portal hole.
Yeah.
It really is. It really is.
Like it's like all still in the middle, but like giant currents around it. So it's like
Right.
if you jumped into it, would you just go straight into a whale's mouth,
Yeah.
or would you get I don't know, just spun into the abyss? I don't know.
We don't know. I think they got to start blowing little rings down there themselves and
Yeah.
see if the whales interact. So they say, the study says this could be a sign that intelligent marine animals are trying to talk to humans in the same way that aliens from a distant ocean may try to contact Earth. So they're being a little spurious with their correlation here.
Yeah.
I think it really is the whales, but then because
It's
they
definitely.
are there to talk about extraterrestrials, they do have to be like, and maybe aliens would do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. They always do that. But honestly, I don't know. Is it a shocking thing that it's like, oh, this noise we couldn't figure out from the bottom of the ocean
Right.
that sounds like a whale? Turns out it was a whale.
Right.
Why is that so? It took how many scientists and how many years to figure that out?
It turns out it's the screams of Stockton Rush's ghost.
Right. Yeah.
Keep me here at the Titanic. I'm having a great time.
Right.
God, he should have died in the Titanic many years ago. Maybe he did. Maybe his other self died at the Titanic, and that's why he wanted to go back all the time.
Maybe.
scary.
Yeah. I mean, he went on a lot of experimental like test dives alone, and he should have gone on that fucking. He should have done all of them alone.
Right. I do a lot of stuff alone. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's the best.
Yeah. So scientists, they have analyzed 12 bubble rings, and they call them bubble ring episodes.
Okay.
So that's kind of fun. So maybe it'll adopt somebody in episode 4 because it gets a little boring. So they say there were 11 of those involved humpback whales. So there's still one bubble ring where they're like, I don't know where the hell that bubble ring came from. And then they also have, this whole thing is about bubble rings.
Yeah.
So really there's nothing else to talk about.
I mean, I think that part is pretty cool. I've never seen anything that...
You can take a look at all the different kinds of bubble rings.
Oh.
They are very awesome, actually.
They are pretty awesome. And those are all made by whales?
Those are all made by whales. One looks kind of like a little smiley face unfinished.
Oh, so this isn't even like a new... The bubble thing isn't even new.
No, the bubble thing's not new. They just finally admitted that it's not an alien, but they also said aliens might communicate like this.
You know,
Yeah, they haven't ruled it out.
Yeah, it's ruled in.
Yeah.
It's still ruled in.
Listen, E6 looks pretty fucking crazy. That
Yeah.
E6 photo.
Yeah, that does look cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're very clearly showing the whales doing it in E9 and E10 right here.
Yeah,
Right.
that's very true.
Yeah,
And
the
it
whales
looks
do that,
really
don't they?
Fucking cool.
The whale's blowhole. You know how big a whale's blowhole is? Take a guess.
As big as your mother.
4 feet.
Whoa, buddy. Hold on. My mother's blowhole. I don't even want to comment on how I know what it is.
You should be so lucky to know my mother's blowhole looks.
At some point it had
blowing
to-
like.
Had to- really, I know for a fact at one point it was, you know what I'm saying, I'm pretty big. They're getting me out. I just came out and I was like, hey, where's the microphone? I got something to say. No, that's not true. I didn't talk until I was 4. My mom said I spoke in grunt.
But damn, he's got some big shoulders.
Yeah, and my brothers took care of me because that's what good gay brothers do.
Good.
Okay, so the blowhole is 6 to 10 feet in diameter.
Oh,
Fucking huge.
That's insane.
that's a big hole.
And they say that it was communication with the humans because it was aimed right at the humans, which also does sound kind of sad because what if the whales are trying to pretend like this is a weapon and they're like, this will get them, but then they're just laughing at us, taking pictures.
Yeah, they're just like people on a boat, and then you see like a bubble just like bubble up next to them, and they're like, "Oh, that's cool." They'll start taking pictures of it and shit.
Yeah.
They're not scared at all.
Yeah.
Damn it. They say the humpback whales didn't show anger or fear, but I don't know how they know all that stuff.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, how do they know that this is them trying to communicate to it? Like, what if they just happened to be next to them when this guy needed to fart?
Well, that's the thing. They're saying the smoke rings and the blowhole that comes out of the blowhole, it was pointed towards humans, but it's pointed towards humans because it's at the top of his fucking head
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
by default.
But scientists, and I think this is a little bit egotistical, scientists say, no, they're not being mean. What they're saying, the whale is saying, hey, let's chat.
Oh.
So the scientists are saying, this is the whale saying, hey, let's chat.
So it's like an older guy in an AIM group chat.
Yes, indeed.
AOL.
Yeah,
So-
like they want to talk to me. Look at her being shy, but she's right over there. She wants to say hi.
Age, sex, location.
Yes, please. No, literally, I'm homeless. Can I get a location?
Please.
Please. So anyway, there you go. That's that study that came out. We'll keep you abreast if there's actual UFOs at any time, but it doesn't seem like we're going to be getting those answers at all in the near future because
No, we got him.
Yeah,
don't have
I
them.
feel like we
We got
pretty
'em.
much have them.
we don't have them.
So it feels pretty cut and dry.
Oh,
We see it.
Yeah.
yeah, cut and dry, huh?
Yeah, like a
fart.
Okay, I was gonna
No,
say like a
that's not.
closed spam bottle.
There we go.
Yeah.
The Pentagon, and we will continue talking about UFOs or lack thereof because we talk about that.
Yes.
The Pentagon has said that they created fake UFO evidence, and then they're the ones who promoted false alien stories. And they did it over 7 years. It took a 7-year program to convince the American people that they were aliens, even though it's all Pentagon and it's all military-based bullshit. And that's according to AARO. And AARO is very smart because it stands for All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office.
Well, then how do we know that this isn't a ploy and a distraction from the other shit? How do we know this part is true? If you lied once
Yes.
before, then where the lies start, where'd
Well,
they end?
That's the question. But this is big news because this is the first time the government has ever come out and said, we planted evidence, none of this shit is real. To your point, though, are we getting too close to the truth?
Yeah.
And do they have to throw us off? The truth
Yeah,
scent.
totally.
When, of course, the truth scent, it smells like Sydney Sweeney's
Bathwater.
squatch
Like
water.
her squatch.
So anyway, that's a big story in the UFO community
Yes.
because no one knows what the hell's going on anymore.
Yes.
All right. Do we want to talk about a fake ICE agent?
Oh my God.
They're out there, man.
So this is very scary stuff. Obviously, we have a lot going on. We'll talk about it on Ben Kissel Politics a little bit more in depth because we like to keep this show slightly lighter, but be very safe out there. Specifically, as if ICE is, knocking on your door isn't scary enough. Fake ICE agent.
Yeah.
Someone dressed as a fake ICE agent zip-tied a woman in a Philadelphia robbery.
Oh my God. That is fucking terrifying.
Isn't that scary?
Yeah.
So, in immigration, customs, and enforcement raid, they were going on across the country, but now they have an impersonator, specifically in Philly. Detectives are searching for a man posing as an ICE agent who said they tied up a woman and stole $1,000 in cash from her at a repair shop last weekend.
Wow.
Please say the agent screamed, "Immigration, immigration," before tying up the woman for more than 2 hours and swiping her money.
Oh my God, that's terrifying. I mean, I just can't even. But you know what sucks is that ICE agents they're actually kind of low on demand with their employees. So they have actually taken other people that aren't officially ICE agents and sent them out on purpose.
What do you mean?
They're like contractors?
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
we're going private contractors.
Yeah.
I believe that.
Like, hey, you like to kidnap people?
Yeah.
I got a van.
It's a dream come true, this job.
Just because they've been a little bit short-staffed and they need more people. So it's like, you know what? Just grab this vest, take this immigration name tag, and get out there, buddy.
So you're saying this guy simply didn't make the right phone call to get an actual ICE badge?
Yeah.
Okay, so he screams, "Immigration!" And then he tied up the woman, and then the woman was only freed when a co-worker came back, and then they saw that the suspect fled in a white Ford van. The agent attempted to look the part as he arrived at the businesses. Cops say he was dressed in a long-sleeve shirt, green cargo pants, and black tactical vest, emblazoned with the words, "Secret Enforcement Agent." He
insane.
also wore a black baseball cap with an American flag on the front and a pair of black sunglasses. My question is, should we be selling the exact outfits that these ICE agents and police agents wear?
That's not what they wear. That's from Party City.
Well, it looks pretty legit to me.
Looks like the big
Yeah.
boss man showed up.
Yeah, that does look pretty like fabricated, like a playtime bulletproof vest.
Pano said this in the chat too, but I immediately was my first thought. He's showing more of his face than any ICE agent has in a long time.
Well, that's true.
So I wouldn't
Yeah.
trust him. I'd be like, dude, you're showing me your face. You're full of shit.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, she was a 50-year-old, and Jerii, you're not going to like this one gosh darn bit. She has been in the U.S. since 2007, but she was born in the Dominican Republic.
Wow.
And they better leave the Dominicans alone.
I'm surprised she didn't
Wow.
slap him.
Yeah, I'm surprised she didn't beat the living crap out of him.
With a
But I
chunk
mean,
She was
someone-
scared.
Yeah, but someone comes in like that, busts into your place of work, and they look all official and shit. It's like surreal. You're panicking. You're anxious. You don't know what's going on, and then you're just like,
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden you're tied up.
Well, I mean, this is scarier than getting robbed by someone who you know is a robber because, you
Yeah.
can kill a robber.
Yeah.
You can try to fight back.
Exactly.
This one is like, oh my God, if I fight back, I'm going to catch all these charges.
Oh, Lord. What kind of, I mean, I guess a white Ford van. Is that what ICE is driving these days? I don't frickin' know.
That's what I'm
know,
driving.
man.
I know that's what you're driving, Kyle. They're probably trying to recruit you as we speak.
Seriously.
All right. Well, just lastly, we have the conclusion of a story that we did not cover because our show didn't exist yet. There was a Colorado funeral home owner. He has pleaded guilty. For what? He left a woman's corpse in the back of his hearse for over a year.
Why?
For over a year.
But like, why?
Well, I guess he forgot about her.
That is
And then
wild.
didn't everybody else must have forgotten about her too?
Yeah.
Forgetting about her.
Definitely seems like multiple people forgot about her.
And no sense of smell.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess he's
yeah.
surrounded by death all the time, so he doesn't even smell it anymore.
Well, maybe they're just all affected by COVID. They don't have a sense of smell anymore.
Yeah, maybe his nose is all fucked up from COVID. So yes, she was in the back of the hearse for a year. He's been charged with improperly stashing the cremated remains of at least 30 people, and he's been sentenced to 18 months in prison. This is the guy here. He's got a very red face.
Yeah.
And he looks like he maybe be drinking. He might be drinking quite a bit.
Looked like a bomb went off in his hands in Looney Tunes, and his hair's all
Yeah.
puffed out.
It looks like his beard is giving the impression of a chin.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. And that's the there are some very funny videos out there of pre-beard, post-beard men.
Oh yeah, that's a thing.
And if you got the no chin, the lip right to the neck,
Yep, yep.
I don't know what to tell you.
Can't even fold laundry.
It's okay. Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Just eating your shirts at that point.
Oh my
But
god.
You hold it at your chin when you're
Yeah.
folding things. That's so fucking
Oh, there's a
funny.
lot of things.
You silly little housewife, Kyle.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that went to his brain. He's like, well, how is he going to fold the blankets now?
That's my goal, dude. I want to be a house husband. Let's go.
Why is there drool all over my shirt all the time?
Yep.
Miles Harford, he has pleaded guilty to 1 felony count of abuse of a corpse and then 1 misdemeanor count of theft. So apparently did they say he stole the goddamn thing? So he faced another count, including forgery and theft. So anyway, it's not good. His 18-month sentence is the maximum sentence under Colorado law.
Wow.
And that's him showing up to court in this like royal purple button-down shirt, like he's going
Yeah.
out to the club.
Yeah, he's got a nice purple shirt that he chose to wear, like the Joker.
Yeah.
1989.
Yeah, it's very kind of reduces the redness from his skin.
Yeah, the chick that was in the back of his hearse was Christina Rosales, and she had Alzheimer's at age 63.
Aw.
Yeah, she was found covered in the back of the hearse, covered in blankets.
Wow.
So he knew.
So
Yeah.
so she was more comfortable than the dead usually are, technically.
Yeah, she gets to go for rides.
Well, they keep on saying that he violated the.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
why didn't we think of that?
I mean, I did, but I didn't want to
Damn.
say
Well,
it in case
so
it didn't happen.
They said he systematically and shockingly violated his profession and moral obligations.
Oh.
Oh,
But I think
he was diddling her.
I don't know. I mean,
Why else would he have her just covered up but like easily accessible in his van?
right.
He could like prop her up for like dinner time or something.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, nice.
Yeah.
He also, strangely enough, they found a bunch of cremated remains stashed in his house, which was a rental. Interesting, including some in crawl
Well,
spaces.
because in this economy, how can you buy?
I know, but I just feel like that's not something you do in a rental.
That's not.
You don't hide cremated remains in rentals.
Why not? You'd be like, so what? I'm not getting my deposit back.
Because then you don't even have the defense. Like, this is my home. I can do whatever I want.
That's
Maybe the
hilarious.
people didn't pay their tabs, and that's why he was repossessing them.
I don't know.
And that's why he's renting, because he can't even afford to buy a house.
Yeah, yeah.
So prosecutors, they say he treated the bodies and remains in a way that would outrage normal family sensibilities, because everyone knows you have to have the remains on top of the fireplace and you give it a little kiss at night.
Yes, yes.
And you say, Harold, good night, Harold.
And those are normal family sensibilities.
Mm-hmm.
What about the abnormal families? What do they think about this?
We'd throw them across the room at each other.
Yeah, I'm not. Well, Kyle wears his father's corpse on his necklace.
Every day.
He does, doesn't
I
he?
always find it to be quite macabre.
Yeah.
I like it. It's nice.
Yeah. So Hartford's sentencing follows years of other gruesome funeral home cases, specifically in Colorado. One where owners were accused of storing 200 bodies in a decrepit building and giving families fake cremated remains. I don't know the point of keeping the bodies.
That's
I
so
don't
weird.
know. I mean, I guess it's just that I just think of necrophiliac.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but if they're cremated,
no, these bodies,
No, but these bodies are like
these are
still
fresh.
intact.
and then
but
they gave them fake cremations.
So he's like, yeah, we burned up the body. Here's the ashes. But
Yeah.
like, oops, no, we didn't. It's actually the body's in my car.
it's actually some sandalwood.
Light it on fire.
Smells nice.
All right. Well, anything in the chat?
Yes, we have Chris G was saying, I was saying the Boeing employees were getting killed at a parking lot.
They are.
Chris corrected me saying, you mean they tripped into a bullet, Kyle.
Oh, right, right.
Very good point. Solid.
Pano is saying, if you survive a plane plane crash, but they need flight for life to save you. Well, I don't know what that means. I thought he was saying they should give you flights for life.
Oh, yes. I think that would be a fine thing.
Yeah.
I don't think this guy needed that, though. He just needed to go right into the ambulance,
Yeah.
and he was fine.
Jeff is saying that he heard that urinating in public, it gets you put on the sex offender list automatically, so that's pretty costly anytime. But it's not necessarily true. My buddy did get caught pissing in the woods, and a cop rolled up on him and tried to get him put on the sex offender list because he said he wiggled his penis at him.
Oh, wow. You wiggled it.
Said he was taunting me. I'm like,
He
well,
was definitely drunk, being a drunk asshole.
Yeah, you saw him. He wiggled it.
Yeah. He's like, you want to put a handcuff on this?
I got a public urination in New York, and there's nothing that came with it. $25 fine.
Yeah, that's about it.
I would argue well worth it. I had to go, baby.
And in New York City, it's tough to find a bathroom.
It is.
Really
Exactly.
fucking hard.
And those are the days before people started sharing bathroom pin codes and all that stuff.
Yep.
That's, woof.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that was a thing.
There are like Instagrams where people like upload them every day.
What?
It's insane, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't even know any of that's crazy.
I didn't know that either.
Chris G is also saying the whales in Mexico and the Sea of Cortez hated humans till we stopped killing them. Then they were like, all right, we're cool.
Wow.
That's insane.
Out of the blowholes of whales go us. Well, thank you all so much for listening to another episode of OK Bud. We got Ben Kissel Politics, which is the new show, because I'm going to separate him so then Jerii doesn't have to hear all the uproar about God knows what we're going to say.
Yep.
And we'll be defending the working class and the people of this country who make it great. I'll tell you that much.
Will you?
And not defending a lot of the schmuckery that's going on
Okay,
a regular
good.
basis.
Okay, you gotta have our backs. You gotta have.
I got your back.
You gotta have the little people.
I got your back. You trust me. I've got your back.
And your front.
Nope.
Well,
The front, that's for you to go. Go shine,
that's for you to blow your own hole.
you crazy diamond. Okay, everyone, thanks for listening. Hail yourself. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Rate and review.
Yes,
Yes,
subscribe.
Rate and review.
Tell your family.
Bye.